The dead internet theory. When bots outnumber humans, who's really on the other side of the screen? Tonight, I want to take you on a journey through one of the most unsettling ideas of our time, the dead internet theory. We'll start by understanding what the theory actually claims, then look at the hard data that makes it disturbingly plausible. From there, we'll examine how AI has become the engine driving this transformation, explore the very real human consequences, and finally ask ourselves what comes next. By the end, I want you to leave with a question you can't shake off. Let that sink in for a moment. Picture the internet. Every tweet, every comment, every video you watch today. Now imagine that the majority of those interactions weren't with people at all. They were with bots, algorithms, and AI agents. This isn't science fiction. As of 2026, the data tells us that bots now generate more web traffic than humans. The question is no longer whether this is happening. It's what it means for all of us. The dead internet theory started as a fringe conspiracy, an idea whispered on obscure forums that the internet had effectively died around 2016. The claim that most of what you see online is no longer created by humans. Instead, AI-generated content floods your feeds, bots simulate engagement, and corporate algorithms decide what reality looks like. At the time, it sounded paranoid. Today, with bots generating 57.5% of all web requests, it sounds more like a forecast that arrived early. Let's trace how this idea evolved. In the late 2010s, posts began appearing on niche forums claiming the internet had died, that authentic human activity had been replaced by algorithmic content. The theory pegged 2016 as the turning point. Fast forward to 2023. Thales, a major data security firm, confirmed that bot traffic had crossed the 50% mark. By 2024, large language models like ChatGPT were generating content at industrial scale. And now in 2026, Cloudflare reports that bots account for 57.5% of all web page requests. The timeline is no longer theoretical, it's documented. That number, 57.5%, comes directly from Cloudflare, the internet infrastructure giant that handles traffic for millions of websites worldwide. Earlier this year, they confirmed the crossover. For the first time in history, bots generate more internet traffic than humans. And this isn't just harmless crawlers indexing pages. We're talking about AI agents, content scrapers, spam networks, and engagement manipulation systems. The majority of the internet's activity is now non-human. Pause and think about what that means for every like, every comment, every person you interact with online. But the global average hides some truly staggering extremes. Look at Gibraltar. During peak hours, up to 97% of all internet traffic there is bot-generated. Nearly the entire digital footprint of that region is non-human. On the flip side, countries like Cuba and Laos still see mostly human traffic, around 80 to 85%. The geography of the dead internet is uneven. North America and Europe lean heavily toward bots, while parts of Asia and South America still retain more human activity. The internet isn't dying uniformly, but the trend line points in one direction. Now, let's look at what's actually driving this transformation. It's not just traditional spam bots anymore. The engine behind the dead internet is artificial intelligence, specifically large language models and generative AI that can produce content indistinguishable from human writing at a scale no human could ever match. Here's how it works in practice. Large language models can now generate thousands of social media posts, comments, and even entire articles in minutes, each one calibrated to maximize engagement. The platforms themselves use algorithms that don't care whether content is true or false. They care whether it keeps you scrolling. The result is a feedback loop. AI creates content optimized for AI-driven recommendation systems, and human voices get crowded out. Your feed is no longer a window into what people think. It's a mirror reflecting what the algorithm wants you to see next. This is where the dead internet theory stops being abstract and becomes genuinely dangerous. Political discourse used to emerge from actual human conversations, messy, authentic, and grounded in some shared reality. Today we're seeing the rise of synthetic politics, AI-generated propaganda memes spread by bot networks, coordinated inauthentic behavior that simulates grassroots support, and algorithmic news feeds that can be gamed to manufacture the appearance of consensus. When you can't tell if a political movement is real or synthetic, democracy itself is at risk. There's another dimension to this that's even more subtle: homogenization. As AI models increasingly train on content that was itself generated by other AI models, the internet starts to look uncannily uniform. The same phrases, the same aesthetic, the same opinions, recycled endlessly. This is sometimes called model collapse. When AI eats AI-generated content, the output becomes bland, repetitive, and detached from human experience. The internet isn't just filling with bots, it's becoming a hall of mirrors where nothing truly new can emerge. And here is where we land. The dead internet theory isn't just about bots and algorithms, it's about whether we still have a common digital space where humans can find each other, debate honestly, and build shared understanding. If the majority of what we encounter online is synthetic, optimized not for truth, but for engagement, then we're not just losing the internet. We're losing the ability to know what's real. The question I want to leave you with tonight isn't whether the theory is technically true. It's this: what are you going to do differently tomorrow, knowing that most of what you see online may not be human at all? And here we are. The final question isn't whether the dead internet theory is literally true. The question is, how much more of our online world are we willing to surrender to bots, algorithms, and synthetic engagement before it's too far gone? The theory gave us a warning. The data, Cloudflare's 57.5% bot traffic, AI-generated content flooding every platform, gave us the receipts. But the ending isn't written yet. Every time you seek out a real voice, every time you choose a human creator over an algorithmically optimized feed, you push back. The internet doesn't have to stay dead, but reviving it requires something from all of us: attention, intention, and the guts to demand better from the platforms that profit from our passivity. Thank you.